Hi, I'm Cami Kidder, and welcome to Throw Like a Girl, the YouTube channel where we discuss all things gender equality related, particularly in baseball. I have always loved baseball. I don't remember learning to like it, or wanting to like it, or trying to like it. I just remember I've always loved baseball. As far back as I can remember, I was watching games with my dad and my older sister Lori, and in tight scoring situations, I would yell at the TV, "Put up Rice! Put up Rice!" Much to the irritation of my older sister. Even at age 7 or 8, not fully grasping the rules like there's a set batting order, I still knew that Jim Rice was the best hitter on the Red Sox, and he was our best chance to score in that situation. My dad set up a strike zone for me on the side of the garage. It was just a piece of plywood painted white with a red strike zone rectangle, so I could sit there and I could practice my pitches and I could practice painting the corners, and I could do that myself, and I could do it all day long and half the night if I wanted to. I would throw the baseball up onto the roof of the garage and then duck underneath the eaves and then wait for it to come down so I could figure out how to catch tricky fly balls that maybe were caught by the wind. And I did the same thing with grounders. I would take the baseball and I would drill it into the concrete blocks that made the foundation, and it would carry them off at all these weird angles, and I could get my ground ball practice in. I mean, I loved it, and this is how I spend my days as a kid. And I think I got pretty good. Until about the 6th grade. And that's when they said, girls don't play baseball anymore, because we clearly had, so it was confusing. They have to play softball. And I'm like, well, this is this whole new game, and that seems really strange, but I'm 11, so who am I to say anything to any kind of authority figure? And sure, there's similarities. There's stick and ball sports, they're diamond sports, but it's still a very different game, especially when you're a pitcher. And I don't recall any discussion about this. It was just, this is how it is. So I played for a while, and I learned to windmill pitch, and then I just kind of stopped. I think maybe my junior year of high school, I just didn't go back out for the team. It was just really too much time and too much work to commit to something I didn't have any passion for. Fortunately, I had other passions. I was a big skier, and I was in the drama club, and I was in the band, so it's not like, for me, it felt like the end of the world. But there were no role models for me in baseball. And sadly, I think every baseball-loving little girl who sleeps with her glove under her pillow, dreaming about making it to the bigs, has to face the day when she realizes that there are no girl Dodgers, no girl Red Sox, no girl Yankees, not a single one, ever. And as an adult, I learned I'm not alone. I'm not the only sad, disappointed, disillusioned little girl out there. In fact, some, even before me, sued organizations like Little League for the right to play. It's hard to imagine today, but at that time, in the early 1970s, the Little League rule book actually read, girls are not eligible to try out or play on Little League teams. And that's according to rule number 6I. They even included the phrase after this rule was printed in the rule book, note, the purpose of this ruling is not discrimination on the basis of sex. I really don't even know how anybody could write that with a straight face, because clearly if you're like, boys can do this and girls cannot do this, there is no other basis for that discrimination other than sex. But in legal testimony, when Little League was sued over these rules, Executive Vice President Creighton J. Hale testified about the physiological differences between boys and girls. He explained, girls have weaker bones and muscles than boys, and dangerously slow reaction times. A blow to the breast of a female, as by a batted or thrown ball, could cause cancer. Yep, that's in the official testimony. But those girls won. They all won. And they would have kept winning, except Little League relented and changed the rule in 1974 to allow girls to play baseball. You know what else happened in 1974? Little League introduced softball for girls. Now, I'm not saying this is a conspiracy, but it seems awfully convenient for an organization that was forced to change by the courts to suddenly decide to offer a separate and different sport for girls, right? This happened 44 years ago. And right now, in this country, girls are still being told they can't play baseball. They're still being told that baseball is for boys and softball is for girls. But unlike me, they are saying no to softball. They are challenging the coach's decision. They are appealing to the principal or the athletic directors of their schools. They are suing for equal opportunities when forced to in court. Their parents are starting teams for girls to play on. Organizations like Baseball for All are hosting girls' baseball tournaments all around the country. Girls are changing schools if necessary. Can you imagine? All because girls want to play a game that some people still insist is only for boys. Now, while there are many more girls playing Little League softball than baseball, and Little League says they don't track gender demographics, they do estimate there's about 30,000 girls who are playing Little League baseball, to the hundreds of thousands who are playing Little League softball. And there are many more likely playing in recreational leagues and in travel ball teams and maybe on school teams. Little League covers really critical ages from 4 to 16. Obviously a tremendous amount of changing from 4 to 16, but even like 11, 12, 13, those are critical years for your development, your confidence, your understanding of teamwork, your self-esteem. And if we're still telling them or making it hard for them or making them feel like they're the troublemaker, they're the difficult one, why can't you just be a good girl and play softball? Then we are really cutting those girls off at their knees. People wonder why all of a sudden girls' scores in math and science drop off in junior high. Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that we're telling them that they're not as good as boys. Now, reportedly, there's about 1,200 girls playing high school baseball. And as you might expect, they and their parents receive an awful lot of pressure to switch to softball. When are you going to switch to softball? You got to switch to softball to get that scholarship. And far be it from me to tell any parent what is in the best interest of their child. But I will say there is much, much, much more money available for academic scholarships than there are for athletic scholarships. According to NCAA's own rules, each Division I school can only offer 12 softball scholarships per year. Most young girls and boys start out playing together, playing t-ball, age 4, 5, 6. Nobody has a problem with that. So most girls who play softball now have roots in baseball. I personally know 4 young women who are playing college softball today at Division I schools who never played softball before. The athletic directors found them because they distinguished themselves playing varsity high school baseball. And I guess the conventional wisdom is if you can hang on a 90-foot diamond, a full-size diamond, playing against young men who are shaving and driving, then softball's going to be easy for you. Which really isn't a great message to all the girls who play softball. I mean, does anybody offer tennis players a scholarship to play badminton because they figure, well, if you can play tennis, then you must crush it at badminton? It's very disrespectful to the badminton players. Now, I don't even know if there is a scholarship for badminton players, but hopefully you'll follow the absurdity of my example. And there is some place for girls to go in baseball. Maybe they're not getting college scholarships yet, but we do have a women's national baseball team. It is run by USA Baseball, which is the same organization that runs all of the boys and men's teams, and there are many, and there's the one national women's baseball team. But there is a World Baseball Softball Confederation, and every 2 years they sanction a Women's Baseball World Cup, so one can actually play for her country if she's a good enough baseball player. More on both of these topics in upcoming videos. The World Cup will be held in August in Florida for the first time ever on USA soil, so we'll have a lot to say about that. But please comment below with your own story. What's your origin story with baseball? Everyone has a baseball story. Send me a message on any of our social media links. I'm TLAG, TLAG Movie, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can obviously comment below here. Please subscribe if you like this video and you want to hear more about gender equality in sports, particularly baseball. And you can also click the bell button there, and that will give you a notification every time we post a new video. This summer is especially exciting and important for girls and women's baseball, so we'll have a lot to say about it, and we thank you for watching.